Hello, this is my Step 5 oral presentation. Introduction. The process I took while creating Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3 were to try and base it off a topic I would enjoy making projects for. I started Step 1's mind map by proving why LeBron James is the best player of all time. Started off with some of LeBron's award and stat lines that he had won over the last 17 years, like NBA championships, NBA Finals MVP, All-Star selections, shooting percentage, points, assists, etc. Next, for part 2, I chose how the usage of alcohol and marijuana in Canada have increased with COVID-19. For the project, I found a website that showed the information for 2019 to current day on Canadians' usage of alcohol and marijuana, how it's gone up since, and I put some of the main reasons of why, like stress, anxiety, loneliness, loss of family member, and unemployment. Finally, for Step 3, I decided to take a look at the Los Angeles Lakers' points, assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks over the last 20 years to see how much they changed. I took a look at ESPN's website to find all the information I needed to complete it. In the last 20 years, their lowest stat lines were in 2011 to 2012 season, averaging 97.3 points. Then in the 2013 to 2014 season, they averaged 41 assists. Then 2015 to 2016, they averaged 18 assists. Next, in 2011 and 2012, they averaged 5.9 steals. And finally, in 2016 to 2017, they averaged 3.9 blocks. So this is my revised topic question. So the question I'd made was, how has COVID-19 impacted Canadians and the usage and consumption of alcohol and marijuana in teens and adults since the pandemic started? So my hypotheses. As the start of COVID-19, there has been increased risks related to usage or consumption of alcohol and marijuana. With the ongoing threat of stress, anxiety, loneliness, and changes in daily routine, some people may experience and face situations that could influence their alcohol and marijuana consumption, which can lead to undesirable consequences. So this is my first analysis. So as you can see, I have a graph of LeBron's regular season stat line and Jordan's regular season. It's an average. The first graph is LeBron James' career stat line, and the second graph is Michael Jordan's. As you can see, they average the same number of minutes and blocks per game. LeBron has Jordan beat on rebounds, assists, and field goal percentage too. By comparing to prove who's better, you cannot just base it off their career averages. You will have to also compare awards and statistics. Michael Jordan won 6 championships where LeBron has only won 4. But Jordan did that with one team. LeBron did that with 3 and won it twice with Miami Heat. LeBron is the only player who is top 8 in all-time points and assists of all time, and he's still playing. LeBron has more buzzer beaters in playoff history, including more than Jordan and Kobe combined. Also, LeBron has the NBA's highest career, averaging 34.9 points in Game 7s. Overall, LeBron has a more impressive statistics to his name, and he is still playing, and for that reason, LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. Alright, so my next analysis. The first graph, it was taken in 2020. This graph shows the percentage of Canadians over the age of 15 that have used alcohol and cannabis in the last 12 months. In the second graph, it shows the percentage of Canadians over the age of 15 that have used cannabis in 2014 and 2015. The third graph shows the percentage of Canadians over the age of 12 that have consumed alcohol in 2013. Overall, in these graphs, before COVID-19, the cannabis consumption was at 12% and went to 15% after COVID-19. And the alcohol before COVID-19 was 37% and went up to 78%. These numbers mean that over the last 8 years in Canada, the alcohol and marijuana usage and consumption has drastically changed. Step 4, this was finding 5 informations and 20 other informations chart. So I chose to do the Los Angeles Lakers stat lines, their team stat lines over the last 20 years. As you can see in here, all their points changes, their rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and then I've made the average of it over the last 20 years, which is 103.5 points per game, 44.1 rebounds, 22.6 assists, 7.5 steals, and 5.1 blocks. My conclusion. In conclusion, for the analyst part of step 1, step 2, and 3 have some similarities. There's specific timelines that I could find my information in, which was 2001 to 2021. Next for my graphs, step 1, step 2, and 3 are accurate and make sense to the topic I chose. It's not hard to mess up LeBron James' career stat line. Next, in step 2, getting the graphs from over the past years and see the difference of Canadians' usage of alcohol and marijuana have gone up because of COVID-19. Finally, the chart for step 3 is accurate because going to ESPN's website and finding out team stats over the years and putting it into an organized chart, it's hard to mess it up. Finally, this is my reflection. While doing these, some of the assumptions I made while doing step 1, step 2, and step 3 was in step 1, I thought it would be easy to prove why LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. But it was not that easy to prove. LeBron James and Michael Jordan are very good players, and they share very similar stats and awards. But Michael Jordan playing 15 seasons and retiring, and LeBron in his 18th year still playing like he's in his prime. LeBron has more to prove than Jordan did in his 15 years in the NBA. In step 2, making a question and hypothesis, I thought it would be an easy project, but I found it extremely difficult to find information on how alcohol and marijuana usage has changed since COVID-19 started. Some of the limitations that I faced while making step 2 was how little COVID-19 has really been out for. It's hard for researchers to find so much information on a topic with the timeline being only like a year. In step 3, find the Los Angeles Lakers team stat line over the last 20 years was not hard to figure out, but something I wish I did different was instead of choosing the Los Angeles Lakers team stat line over the past 20 years, I wish I were to have compared it to the last 20 regular seasons MVPs and their stat lines to see which player had the best stat line over the last 20 years. And if I had unlimited time, money, and resources to further my research on steps 1, 2, and 3, for step 1, I would pay anyone after LeBron James retired to compare every single stat line that LeBron and Jordan had and to come to the official decision on who's the best player of all time. And for step 2, I would want to wait until COVID-19 has been around for a few more years to see how Canadians' consumption of alcohol and marijuana has really changed before COVID and then after COVID. And this is my bibliography, and that is my project. Thank you for watching.